This is a public announcement. Can anyone fix life support systems? If so, please contact station management urgently. Thank you.
This is a public announcement. We will shortly commence testing of the station's brown noise generator. Please insert your cork now, and good luck everyone. Testing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1...
This is an announcement. There will be an announcement shortly.
Hutton Orbital Radio, the only radio station to give you time off for good behaviour.
Hutton Orbital. It's like Trumpton on a bad onion head trip. Hutton Orbital Radio News. Tune in every Thursday and get the horn.
It's dark round the back of Hutton. Really dark. It's even darker than that time we ran out of 50p coins for the lecky. Everyone has gathered in the bar of the social hub to look at the newly revealed starscape. The view is only available at certain times of year, when Hutton is at farthest reach of its orbit and Proxima Centauri is on the other side of the station. Management have even switched off all the external lights, and for a short time, Hutton Orbital becomes the finest dark skies observatory this side of Deso. The majesty of the galaxy is laid out before the locals in an endless parade of twinkling lights. Comets streak across the blackness. They are only visible at times like this, when the light of Proxima is blocked by the planet Eden and the superstructure of the station. The locals sit motionless, transfixed by the beauty of the natural world. The silence is broken only by an occasional gasp or contented sigh, and on one occasion an unavoidable fart from someone who's had sprouts Mexican for lunch. After a while, their attention shifts to a small area of sky where there are no stars. The mood is broken as people speculate about what could cause the stars to disappear like that. Worried mutterings turn to concerns that it gets bigger, getting bigger. Could it be a star killer like that old vid show? All of those systems just gone? One person shouts in anguish as first the Orion Nebula and then the whole of Barnard's Lub are engulfed by the darkness. And then there were no stars left, only the blackness. Someone flicks the light on to reveal a gaudily painted fleet carrier parked outside of the bar. The words Hutton News Outside Broadcast Unit have inexpertly daubed along its flank in green paint. Red screens spring to life and a face appears saying,
Our mics are live. Good evening, and welcome to Hutton Orbital's Outside Broadcast Show. And yes, it's a green room week, and yes, we don't know where someone hid the broadcast cameras.
I thought the apology officer was bringing them.
I'm sorry, what? No, Norma had the big rucksack with the camera gear. I was in charge of the Tunnocks caramel wafers.
I did have a large rucksack, but it's a rusk snack sack for nibbles during the show. Sandy had the bag with all the camera gear in.
No. I was bringing all the cables. Mike Rochburns was in charge of the actual equipment.
See, that's where you're mistaken. I brought the sound desk. This thing is 6 feet wide and weighs a ton.
Okay, well look, somebody contact the orbital and see if we left it on the pad. In the meantime, we'd better put this 6-foot monstrosity to use.
Sorry, am I running late? Did you know you'd left a big bag on the pad back at Hutton?
Right, headlines, I hope. Which buttons do I push now? That one. It's bin day at Hutton.
Welsh Banzai Memorial announced.
Sausage McStiffies in controversial expansion.
Number 5 is alive.
Yuri Grom, in his own words, or is it?
Hutton probes stratum tectonicus.
And I probinate the star systems that Hutton controls and pick out the best bits.
Following the mobile celebration over the last week of either the beginning of spring, complete with cute bunnies and lambs, or of course Easter, complete with chocolate eggs, most of which have been on sale since summer 3310 and are probably past their best before date, Alpha Centauri entered public holiday status today in observance of Bin Day, a tradition officially established in 3289 to commemorate the Great Birmingham Waste Collapse of 2025, a period of Earth history in which an estimated 17,000 tonnes of uncollected rubbish transformed large portions of the city into a wildlife preserve for rats described at the time as 2 foot long and not very shy. The holiday, ratified by Hutton's Council of Commemorative Oddities, marks the moment in human civilization when the bin overflow achieved critical mass and began to develop distinct geological layers. Residents of the area began referring to certain zones by strata, can layer, pizza box horizon, and the now famous used nappy wall. Alpha Centauri's festivities today include the Great Trash March. Station crew paraded through the concourse hauling replica wheelie bins, followed by dancers wielding plush rat puppets. Who writes these tongue twisters? On carbon rods. Some participants added realism by playing bin lorry engine noises over the tannoy. Commemorative dumping. In honour of Birmingham's improvised fly-tipping events, selected citizens were invited to hurl sealed containers of symbolic garbage into low-orbit disposal skiffs. These skiffs promptly jammed, in keeping with the spirit of the event. The manifesto reading, a traditional recitation of the Statement of Rubbish, written by sanitation crews during the 2025 standoff. A special annotated edition was read aloud by floor mopping guy, who punctuated each clause with a disapproving mop flourish. The "Which bin is it this week?" lucky dip, whereupon participants guess whether it's black bin, green bin or blue bin week, and if they should also put out the brown bin or the bottle bin at the same time. Lael Wolf, issuing a stern note from her office with the windows tightly shut, clarified the station's position.
This holiday is not a suggestion. All bins must be removed from corridors by 2200 or they will be considered performance art and sealed in resin.
Due to high levels of participation, Hutton's internal air filtration systems are currently operating under crisis flower mode, and all janitorial staff have been issued with commemorative nose clips. No further holidays are scheduled this week, although Duct Tape Awareness Day remains under proposal following recent maintenance incidents in the habitation ring. P.S. It's black bins this week. We checked with the neighbours in Seoul.
You may remember last week we spoke about a Welsh Dragons event for one of their fallen, Commander Banzai, who passed away suddenly last year. Well, the Welsh Dragons of Alpha FONACAs are taking to the skies on the 28th of April with a memorial flight in honour of their wingmate, Commander Banzai, who passed away last year at just 52 years old. The Welsh Dragons, also known as the Double Dragons, have worked tirelessly to colonise HIP 23414 and create Martin Brown Memorial Port to recognise Commander Banzai and write his name among the stars and grant him mild immortality. But only mild, you understand. They don't want to go crazy. To mark his birthday, on Monday the 28th of April, the Dragons will fly out from Martin Brown Memorial at 1900 UK time, that's 2000 UTC, to commemorate their fallen comrade in arms. There are likely to be epic levels of nostalgia, a few toasts, laughs, tears and hilarity, as everyone tries to line up for the mandatory screenshots. So put on your fanciest paint job, make sure your engine colour is turned up to maximum brightness, and join the Dragons in HIP 23414 in memory of Commander Banzai.
Tentacle burgers, ammonia fries, sausage McStiffies and other fast food delights will soon be coming to a planet near you, if you live in the Sol system. McThargoids have opened their first branch on Old Earth. Now, you may be forgiven for thinking Earth already has a Maxargoids, but you would be wrong. As the birthplace of humanity, Earth is a galactic heritage site and conservation zone with matching laws, meaning that no off-world foods can be brought Earthside in case they contaminate the fragile ecosystem or causes the penguins to mutate into malevolent and relentless empire-building tyrants. It could happen. With the assistance of boffins at Canon Interstellar, the nutritionists at Maxargoids HQ have found a way to create those heartwarming favourites from materials abundant on Earth itself. Warning, when we say heartwarming, we mean cosy. If you do feel an intense heat burning in the middle of your chest after a Maxargoid meal, then it could be the sign of an imminent hatching event and should be reported to staff so they can get a mop and a bucket. By reusing recycled nuclear waste, excess biological matter and unused pot noodles, the new Sellafield factory uses advanced technology to grow ingredients for those yummy fast food favourites which don't breach the law because they are grown on Earth from naturally occurring materials. With batches set to open the New York Demilitarized Zone, City of Venice Underwater Theme Park, Mount Fuji, Ben Nevis and Grimsby Town Centre, across the road from Specsavers, the new Earthside Maxargoids are bound to be a big hit. Some local residents have voiced concern that the arrival of Maxargoids may negatively affect the delicate ambience of their communities. In Grimsby, a spokesperson for the Independent Kebab Council stated that the new outlet
threatens to undermine the cultural character of the town centre with its aggressive use of bioluminescent storefront signs and semi-sentient condiments.
A petition in the City of Venice Underwater Theme Park has already garnered 9 signatures and one waterlogged sketch of a gondola in distress, while the Mount Fuji Heritage Committee released a statement saying only,
"We don't like it."
Maxargoids responded by confirming that their storefront designs would respect local traditions, including optional limited edition incense-scented ammonia fries box displays.
In a highly anticipated, and according to some impatient commanders, highly overdue move, the Cobra Mark V has officially entered full-scale production and is now available to all commanders in exchange for standard galactic credits, with a value approximately the going rate for a lightly licked space cucumber at Vista Genomics Danger Department. Previously limited to those with spare arcs and an overabundance of either enthusiasm or impatience, the ship's newfound credit eligibility has led to a spike in ownership. As a nippy little mission runner with a nice and stable SCO drive, the Cobra Mark V is a more than acceptably competent vessel for medium pad shenanigans, planetary landings, and tooling around the system doing stuff. The release also brings the total number of flyable ships to 42, triggering renewed logistical debates about fleet carrier capacity, which remains capped at 40 stored ships and 1 in active use. A number of commanders have responded to being stymied by the storage shortage by strapping the new Cobra to the roof of larger ships and insisting it's a luxury roof box. One docking bay supervisor noted,
"We didn't write a rule against it because we didn't think anyone would try. It is quite natty looking though."
It has been noted that with certain of the ARC's available ship kits on the market, visually, the Cobra Mark V sits somewhere between a Cobra and a Viper, and this has led to informal suggestions that it could be rebranded the Vibra Mark V, an economical fusion of the two ship lines that have long occupied the same functional space. Reasonably fast, with guns. There have been comments by a number of early adopters of the new ship that with the release of the ship for in-game credits, about the same amount as a licking one space cucumber gets at Vista Genomics Danger Department, they're waiting for the win part of their pay-to-win claim. On reading the small print, print, they realised that winning wasn't mentioned anywhere in the terms and conditions, and now they feel a little silly. The Pilots Federation has yet to issue a formal statement on the matter, though unofficial sources have confirmed that legal disclaimers in the ship catalogue do not, in fact, include the word winning anywhere. Not even once. Patient commanders are, of course, winning big now, as they can spend their hoarded arcs on bobbleheads for the cockpit. One early adopter commented,
"Turns out I paid. I definitely own a ship, but I'm still being ganked by high-gravity planets, and my bobblehead of David Breven in a onesie just judges me silently from the dashboard."
Another planet summed it up more bluntly.
I was promised domination. What I got was a slightly better Cobra and a mysterious urge to spend the rest of my arcs on cockpit disco lighting.
Meanwhile, patient commanders who have waited have declared themselves the real winners. Many are now diverting their vast hoard of hitherto unused arcs into the purchase of animated dashboard ornaments, including the new violently spinning space station, a rather ominous leathery egg, and a squeaky model of the Buckyball Racing League mascot that reacts to sharp turns. Hutton Orbital's own architect Lael Wolf issued a statement regarding the influx of new Cobras.
We have sufficient docking space for standard models. However, commanders attempting to dock 3 of them welded together into the shape of an anaconda will be denied landing permission. Mainly as it's too big, but also because this is a spaceport, not an art installation.
As for the possibility of a Cobra Mark VI, speculation remains. One engineer from Falcon de Lacy was overheard saying, "Oh, we've still got a few leftover fins and half of the hull from the Mark III line. If we find a nose cone and an excuse, who knows?" Ongoing inquiries as to who this Mark fellow is are ongoing.
Salvage teams from Hutton Orbital let me try it and start that again. Salvage teams from Hutton Orbital Expired Ship Reclamation Team have turned up one of the most surprising items from wreckage that has been seen for a long time. A red, leather-bound Tom. Emblazoned with the letters YG, Yankee Golf. Containing what appears to be an insight into the daily comings and goings of the galaxy's figureheads. But whether Comrade Grom knows that it's been pinched, or if it's a well-crafted fake, no one can yet tell. But the handwriting experts have confirmed it's definitely the work of a megalomaniac with a fetish for fountain pens. The extract is as follows. 6 a.m. Rose from bed to disturbing stains of decramic... I've muddled that too much. State Anthem, Volume 4, Brazier and Laudia. Declared the morning success. Buried majestic. 6:15. Morning bird ritual. Wax, comb, ideological alignment. Achieved Edelgauer angle. 37 degrees downward tilt with upward brow tension. Small child fled corridor interior. Acceptable. 7 a.m. Belted tunic, adjust sash for maximum asymmetry. Glared at it until it submitted to revolutionary athletics. Inspected medals. Added 1 personal excellence in brooding. 8 a.m. Breakfast. Toasted nutrient brick. Bitter tea. Staff attempted to introduce fruit. Dismissed for counter-progressive tendencies. 9 a.m. Reviewed overnight messages from agents in LHS 3447. Replied to none. Reinforcement of mystique is critical. 10 a.m. Personal Manifesto Chapter 147. The importance of imposing silhouette. discarded while packing back and forth until unlit fireplace. 11:30. Resigned 3 advisors for smiling too easily. Raised suspicion of optimism. 12 o'clock. Lunch. Rehydrated tactical stew. Declared it delicious with only minor clenching. 1300. Met with shipwrights to finalize redesign of the revolutionary class interdictor. Demand more angles, fewer curves. Consider adding beard to ship kit. Must look stern, even from the front. 1500. Practice standing in front of windows, staring into space. Maintained brooding pose for 47 minutes. Interrupted by one thunder, which was deemed dramatically appropriate. 1600. Strategization. New plan tilted operation. Exponential but menacing. Requires 12 anacondas and a curtain. 1800. Reflected on personal greatness. Wrote a poem. Rhymed accidentally. Shredded it. 1900. Evening propaganda broadcast. Read from De Grom Codex, Volume 2. Now with more fury. Added footnotes live for emphasis. 2100. Evening gowering. Minor smirk occurred. Punishment immediately with extra glowering. 2200. Retired to private quarters. Removed medals. Combed beard again. Whispered Clamac Eternal to suitably bearded sash wearing teddy bear. Victor slept in a rigid posture, dreamed of conquest. Well, there you go. Not sure what it tells us really, apart from I can't do accents to save my life, but we really didn't know it from his portrait. We have contacted maybe someone for comment. We have contacted someone for comment. It is coming in live, literally as we speak. That is it. The end. No. Next.
Vista Genomics continues to pay approximately 19 million credits for samples of Stratum tectonicus, a green photosynthetic surface organism found on rocky planetary bodies, noted for its flat veined structure and overall resemblance to a luminous geological accident. The organism forms an irregular mat over rocky terrain, absorbing sunlight via a network of brightly pigmented cells. While its appearance has been described in field logs as veiny space blob, the organism presents as a flat, irregular green mass with a veined lattice of lighter structures and a texture comparable to a semi-dried spill across cracked paving. Despite widespread availability, it remains among the most highly paid samples on Vista's exobiology catalogue. Vista's public documentation cites only data richness and morphospectral yield, while all technical queries have been redirected to automated responses or forwarded to a communications unit believed to have been decommissioned in 3307. Straton cucumesis, distinguishable by its elongated clustered structures and pronounced fleshy ovoidity, yields only modest returns. The structure has been described in internal documentation as connected ovoid masses displaying photosynthetic cell groupings, although field notes frequently draw comparison to poorly stored salad vegetables. It too attracts high payouts from Vista, though still trails slightly behind Tectonicus in most surveys. Other stratum types, such as stratum pileus and stratum laminamus, remain less financially rewarding, despite sometimes being more visually appealing. These lower-tier specimens are commonly referred to by exobiologists as scan padding. Vista has not disclosed the reason for Tectonicus' exceptional pricing. Internal terminology includes phrases such as morphospectral complexity and substrate resonance capture, but the underlying logic remains unclear. Hutton Orbital News contacted LCU No Fool Like One of Canon Interstellar for expert comment. He replied,
"Buggered if I know, but they do wobble with a fascinating fashion when you poke them."
The apology officer at Hutton Orbital has issued the following advisory.
The commanders are reminded that Stratum Tectonicus is not to be used as an on-slip surface, a salad garnish for a dirty kebab, or a conversation starter. It is to be scanned, submitted, and forgotten.
No further updates are expected from Vista Genomics, although their catalogue now officially lists Stratum Tectonicus under the entry code S-A-blob-39842, with a red advisory, "Do not sit on." Again. Regardless of scientific rationale, the economic impact is straightforward. Commanders engaging in exobiology report that the discovery and sampling of Stratum Tectonicus remains among the most profitable single activities available to solo exploration crews. Reports of carriers funded entirely from one afternoon of collecting veiny rock scabs remain unverified, but not implausible.
Hang on a minute. Welcome to the Hutton BGS bit, where we eat boiled eggs and cabbage before locking ourselves in the situation room with the staff and letting nature take its course. Well, now Hutton controls 108 systems and has a presence in 350. Do you know, I remember when that would have been crazy, but these days it's just how we roll. For information, 67 of those, somebody's going to footer with that, who is it? Yeah, 67 of those are above our 60% influence threshold. Booms this week are in Epsilon Eridani, Wolf 359, Epsilon Indy, and 36 Ophiuchi. When was 36 Ophiuchi last not in boom? Barnard's Star has investment, civil liberty, and a long weekend for the Easter bank holiday. There's a war in Riga, where Hutton is defending Al-Batani's Folly from the EDF, and another war in Azimuth with others. Start that again. And there's another war with Azimuth Biotech in LFT 142. But what does it all mean? I've got no idea. So why not stick to the basics? If you want to truck it or mission run, then why not truck it or mission run it in Barnard Star or one of those boom systems? And if you want to shoot it, then you can shoot it in Riga or LFT 142. And that's it for this week's Hutton BGS bit.
Whew! Oh dear.
He's back!
Yay!
Hey!
Woohoo! My sabbatical is over. I'm back
Yeah.
from the stress of pushing all the buttons and trying not to stuff it all up entirely. I did notice the Hutton ticker was still saying last week's word of the week, so I emergency fixed that one.
Yes.
Yes. I've got a button here. Let's push this button. There you go. I've changed it. Yes, and we've dun, 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 dun.
It's not displaying word of the week early, is it?
No, it's last
No,
week's
it's
word of the
Oh!
week. I mean, yeah. You
Yeah,
know
but
what I
just
mean.
when you said that's fixed it, I thought, my God, you can't show them it early.
No, I fixed it. It says something else. It's something else
okay.
entirely now. But yes, by the way, if anybody sees Amelia, the airlock's that way. Yes, but thank you to our stunt Amelia, also known as Litho Breaker, for stunt Ameliaing your way through that article.
Yeah, I can't do the accent though, I'm afraid.
Talking of accents, by the way, well
Yes,
done.
neither can I.
Oh, niet the babushka. Anyway, well done on trying to imitate Yuri Grom and his diary. It's, I mean, all we can tell is he cares about his beard and his diary and. Yeah,
That's
things
not what I
being
thought you were
stern.
gonna
Yeah. And his teddy bear, Victor.
Victor.
We had no idea he had a teddy bear called Victor. I mean, that
It's not called Victor,
softens...
it's called Victor.
Victor,
Teddy bear
yes.
Victor with gracious beard.
Mighty
And
beard on
sash.
teddy bear. I've never seen a teddy bear with a beard. I
That's
better
because,
not...
That's because they're excellent disguises and you wouldn't know it was a teddy bear.
Yeah, I better not feed that into Mr. Dustybot, otherwise we'll have some quite disturbing images appearing on screen. And thank you very much to Volcarius for your scientific update on Stratum Tectonicus. I mean, we don't know why. I mean, I know the planets they're on a little bit. I mean, they've got certain atmospheres and things, but I mean, 19 million credits, excluding bonuses for those, compared to the 1 million credits for the Laminamus, I think you mentioned earlier. We have no idea why. What's special?
Does Lemon taste like lemons?
Well, we don't know. I mean, there's
No,
no...
it's not armpits, it's lemon armpits.
It's not lemon armors, lamina as in a flat plane.
Yes.
No?
I like one
so
that's
it's not
landed
fizzy,
really badly.
That's why it's so much cheaper.
Tastes like dirty laminate flooring.
So yeah, we don't know why they pay quite so much for that one, or for the, what was it, Stratum Tectonicus and Cucumysis?
Yes.
Those were the others.
Yes.
I don't know. All I remember really about exobiology was LCU No Fool Like One's Christmas song from 2 years ago.
Yeah, poke it and it wobbles. No. Yeah, it was, and don't lick it. Whatever you do, don't lick it.
Because someone else might have licked it before you and then it'd be dirty.
Yeah. Anyway, we've also got Flossy here. Good evening, Commander Flossy.
Good evening.
And so you were talking all about what was it again? The new Thargoids over on planet Earth. There is some controversy about this.
Yes.
So I mean, the locals are revolting, a bit like the Thargoids.
Yeah, no change there. We've always been revolting.
But
I mean, do you have a view on a sausage McStiffy being at the Venice underwater theme park?
No.
how you going to drink it with your helmet on?
Just look at it and go, my goodness, that's a disgusting looking piece of food. But yeah, I mean, those neon signs and everything to go with them are a bit distracting when you're going to look at a bit of history, albeit underwater these days. I mean, it is 3311 now, and the sea levels have risen, and Venice, well, I mean, it's quite a nice architectural place to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the odd tourist floating past. At least it stopped the pigeons, I suppose.
Yeah, they're all at the top of the...
No, the pigeons have got tiny little scuba gear.
I might have to feed that into the Dustybot to see what that looks like.
What's the big tip?
Oh no.
Pigeons will be at the top of that. That's still sticking. That must still be poking above the surface.
What, the tower thing?
Yeah.
The doggy's tower, Doje's tower, that's the one. Next to his palace.
Yeah, the one that's... it's outside St Mark's.
Yeah.
In the square.
But without the pigeons. Or at least pigeons in little scuba gear.
I think it's a Campagnola or something.
Anyway, well, so this week we're supposed to be doing a Green Room Week, and in previous months we've done an outside broadcast for one of the fleet carriers, and in fact I think there's supposedly a minor gathering at Commander Hankey's, King Hankey's new station, but unfortunately we left the camera gear behind, and we're really sorry, and we'll probably do it another week, but oops. But anybody wants you to come and say hi because it's a Green Room Week can pop in later in the show. Flossy, if they were to pop in later in the show, what do they have to do?
They have to go to TS at Teams.
No, failed. Rewind.
They have to go to diddly-doo-dah.
TSforthemug.com.
Correct. TS.forthemug.com.
But that's not a website, is it?
Not a website, no, it's a TeamSpeak server.
Right, so
no
you're...
passwords required, and just look for the Green Room and go in there.
Fantastic. So if you do want to pop in and say hi, if you don't, it's not a problem. But if you do, I see we've actually got King/Emperor Hankey hiding in the green room for later. Apology officer, are you ready to issue apologies for us not doing the live broadcast because my camera failed completely?
No, just leave them to it. Let them hang as they grow.
Yeah,
I found out, by the way, it's the Campanile de San Marco.
The what?
The Campanile de San Marco, the big tower in Venice.
Oh, the Campanile.
Yeah, the Campanile.
Campanile. Yeah, right.
Naughty
Okay.
Body Wash popped it in chat.
It's a Campanile.
Yeah, it's a bloody great tower with a bell on top. Maybe not a viewing platform.
Isn't that a long, narrow row where you put tents up, a camping aisle?
No, oh dear. I thought that was a funicular.
Move on.
Anyway.
You're a funicular.
Yes, right. So, what I can tell, it's the end of the month because the number in this month is now quite high, and we're on a Thursday, which is after a Wednesday, which means it must have been a Frontier live stream this week. Nope. What?
It's the last Wednesday of every month, and next week is the last Wednesday of every month, and also the last Wednesday of April, and also the last day of April.
Right.
So this is the last Thursday of the month.
This is the last
yesterday
Thursday
wasn't
of the
the last Wednesday of the
Oh
month.
no.
Oh, right. Okay. So we're expecting that. Fine. So they're probably going to talk about the Cobra Mark V being available for real credits, which I think might be the subject of an article coming later as well. And the fact that hang on a second, I'm trying to work out which one is. The Mandalay is available for credits. The 5 is available for
Corsair
credits.
was released.
The Corsair,
yeah.
So maybe in time for summer, that one's going to be for credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way,
they'll probably.
Oh, go on.
Well, there should be mid-year another ship and another feature, or at least a feature announcement. One of the two.
A future
I would
feature.
think so.
Yeah, it should be. I'm fairly sure we had Trailblazers on February. Then the April update was just supposed to be the Corsair. Then there's a mid-year, which should be another ship and a feature. Then there should be summer, which is just another ship, and then winter, which is a ship and a feature.
Right. And I think the next feature, I think they were talking about being something to do with management of community squadrons. What was it called? I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Naughty Body Wash has it. It was Vanguards. That was the one.
Vanguards, that's the one.
So
where we can tell you what to do. So basically the BGS bit from the apology officer, we can translate into something in-game where you have to go to, and I'm going to take a random guess here, possibly Barnard's Star. It seems to feature regularly.
Yeah, Barnard's Star has been in investment since forever.
Yes. There are rumours that I think we broadcast it in a previous article, the BGS might be a little bit squiffy at the moment, mainly because the Android DAV is either on strike or stressed. And the ticks are taking talks, they're taking time, aren't they?
Yeah, they do. It takes a bit longer, but it happens when it happens,
Well, we've doubled the number of populated systems.
Yes. Yeah, there's systems coming out. Have you looked at it recently? There's systems everywhere.
Yes. And you showed the virus picture last week, didn't you? Litho, you put that on screen during the last week's broadcast?
Yep, certainly did.
Humanity is a virus. We have expanded. We beat the Thargoids, and now we're expanding. So, no. It's all ours. Stick a flag in it. Right. So, I suppose the next part of the show, and I've not even lined any of this up because I've had weeks and weeks off, is something to do with space news.
Yes.
I think we've got a theme tune and a button somewhere.
We do have a theme tune for space news.
Oh, yeah, but now you're going to ask me to work out which one it is on this panel, aren't you? And
I don't. The one marked space news.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Space news, space news, space news, space news, space news, space news, space news.
Okay.
Right.
First up in our space news this week,
Stinks in space.
This is moo steaks, not oink steaks. Yes.
Yes.
Or bar steaks.
It's not even moose steaks. It's just
steaks.
Mushroom steak.
It's no.
It's genuine meat product.
It's
Genuine
protein steaks grown in a test tube kind of steaks.
Yeah, which bit makes it genuine? How?
Well, it's
a
the
little
only
TM
protein
logo on the side.
Yeah, you find somewhere else that does protein steaks grown in a test tube in space. So the thing that what they can do is they can do all sorts of stuff, you know, that they'll be able to make different foods. And somebody did comment at one point that it might actually be tastier than the original. Although I think that remains to be seen. So yeah, one of the things is, apart from the quality of what's getting sent up into space, is the cost of sending that stuff up into space. You know, so if they can grow this stuff in space and grow different kinds of food in space with proteins and things like that, then it will save a lot of money, and people will get better food, and it'll be fresh and what have you. So yeah, they seem to be well up for it.
So, question from the floor. I mean, what do people in space eat right now?
And they do have foods. I think they've moved on for the toothpaste tubes, really, but not a lot further than the toothpaste tubes.
Are they like MREs or that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it's like a plastic. It's like a wee plastic TV dinner thing.
It's mostly shipped dehydrated and rehydrated when it gets there.
Yeah.
Which they'll dehydrate and rehydrate almost anything for you, but yeah, just add hot water and wait.
It's whether you still want it.
Yeah, I mean, they have to take sort of supplements when they're in space as well. So they eat food to fill them up a little bit, and then they have to take supplements for all the essential stuff. So they miss out on the important things, like
they
steak.
also add huge amounts of hot sauce.
Yes.
In low-pressure atmospheres, taste buds don't work as well, so everything is bland and flavourless. Hence,
I think they sent kimchi up for the Korean astronauts that were up there at one point.
Yeah, and they've been. Sorry.
The best one so far was when the first Italian astronaut was space station commander.
Yeah,
I think she was the commander. She took up an espresso machine because they couldn't face the thought of having an Italian running the space station without a good cup of coffee in the mornings.
That makes a lot of sense.
I've had to give up the caffeinated stuff.
Oh no! No.
But anyway, there is part of this article that Britain's first astronaut has been testing some of the food of the future, complete with space chopsticks.
Yeah, she was on the news the other day tasting some of it, Helen Sharman.
Yep, steamed dumplings. Though I'm not sure about how sensible steam and a space station go together on this one.
There's probably a fair bit of steam kicking about somewhere.
Oh, I've seen those sci-fi movies. There's always steam leaking out in all the awkward
corridors.
Yeah. It's about to jump out at you.
Yeah.
Something. It's in the vents. It's in the vents.
And grab your dumplings.
Yes. Kiss your dumplings goodbye.
I had me dumplings away.
Yeah. And there's a bored-looking man making lab-grown chemicals. Apparently, it's Imperial College's master chef.
Yes. If you scroll up, you'll see by the that might be the cappuccino machine. I'm not entirely sure. But if you scroll up past that, you'll see the lab-grown steak. Look at that thing.
The brick-coloured food is grown in a small bioreactor. I mean, it's got to be fantastic. I mean, steak and beef in steak form exists in two formats, which is either rare or ruined. I mean, you don't want to sort of burn things in space. I imagine a flame grill in the space station is probably... I mean, Valkyrius, flames in space don't behave like we think they do they?
I haven't looked that up.
So
the flame... Is there enough oxidant? Oh, no.
Yes.
Oxidize it?
Flames in space behave absolutely fine as long as the ventilation is running and there's a draft.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, they go into a ball, don't they?
So flame grilled steak. So I mean, they can grow the meat. The next question is, how the blazes are we going to cook this, or are we having steak tartare on the station? Which I mean, it's delicious.
But, you can do an electric hot plate very easily. You just take the cooling fins off a Pentium processor and then you're fine for hot.
That makes perfect sense. You're putting the stuff in it, so you haven't got all of the nasty stuff that would be in meat that's on Earth. So theoretically, you can eat it raw. Which is basically rare.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but you do want that
I think
lovely.
it's referred to as
blue.
That's
You want that char on the surface.
Yeah.
You want the char on the surface, but yeah. So we live to find out the next stage, which is how they're going to flame grill it in space. Yes, I mean I suppose they can sous vide it, but that can be nice for tenderness. But you need the outside properly charred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could do something with it.
Right, and then
they can take it outside and hold it up to the sun.
We have our second article of the evening, which is entitled
Pensioners in Space! So this is the oldest astronaut who's returned at the age of 70. Still an active astronaut.
Good effort.
Yeah. I mean, he's not what you or I'll be like at 70.
I'll be happy if I make it to 70.
I'm just looking forward to growing further into my Victor Meldrews as I get older.
Yes. As a Glaswegian, I also am hoping to make it to 70. But he's back. His name is
Don Petite.
Don Petite. He doesn't look very petite.
Petit.
So he returned to Earth on his 70th birthday and landed in, is it Kazakhstan that they landed in?
Right.
It's on Soyuz, yeah.
Yeah. Kazakhstan's steppes. So, yeah, he came home on his birthday from the International Space Station and landed in Kazakhstan. What a way to spend your birthday, eh?
There you go, there's a picture of his landing. Yes, smoking. Yeah.
No, that's the steam for the sous vide for the steaks.
That's the barbecue.
You're supposed to take that up with you. I suppose they could use liquid smoke. Isn't that a thing in bottles?
That's how they can char the steaks. Leave them on the outside for re-entry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's not in space anymore.
You grow it in space, you fly it back down again, and then you land and you eat a delicious steak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delivery to your door. Just eat.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think you've missed one of these articles, by the way, the important one from this week about the controversy.
Okay.
Yes. So we've got the next one now, which is, hang on a second.
Oh.
Here we go. The third one.
It's Brits in space.
You've been wanting to do that for ages.
Yeah.
There's a fourth one that we've not put in here, but if somebody can research the fourth one about inconsequential celebrities in space, that'd be awesome. And put a link.
That was last week. That was last week. Yeah.
Well, that not the controversy. It wasn't. So that was the thing that happened afterwards.
Well, let's do the Brits in space first, because that's more important than silly celebrities.
Yeah. Well, this does connect to that other story actually. So there's been a request for Britain to do the same, and particularly Richard Branson to send 6 British ladies up to space in one of his rockets. I don't know how that's going to work, because last I checked his rockets were all exploding. But anyway, so it's all female flight crew, and they're sending. So it started off as a joke in Radio 1, but then Richard Branson went, yeah, let's see if we can do that. And it seems to be gaining traction, so it might be a thing.
But is Virgin Galactic even doing anything at the
moment? They went splot into somewhere west of Spain, didn't they, last time?
Oh, maybe.
No, that was Virgin, the other Virgin.
That was Virgin Orbit.
Yeah, that was the one, yeah. I mean, Virgin Galactic and Scaled Composites, and they did do a few launches, but they seem to have scaled them back a tiny bit.
They got in a lot of trouble because they deviated from their flight plan. Not by a small margin either. They came in too low, I think it was, off the top of my head. And so they had their licenses removed.
They came in too low and hit the top of your head. That is
low. I was
low.
thinking, Oslo.
I've not got any hair for a reason.
So yeah, I mean they've stopped the VSS Unity spacecraft and they're now going production and development of Delta class apparently.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Yes, but the Virgin Orbit was shut down in 2023, which is the one that went splot, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're suggesting as a crew, they've got an idea for the crew yet. Gemma Collins, Alison Hammond, Carol Vorderman, Natalie Cassidy, and Denise Welch, which is 5. I don't know who number 6 would be then.
I mean, how do they pick the? I mean, to my mind, there are some great legendary sort of scientists and broadcasters and whatever else, and those seem like poor choices.
That was the presenter who suggested that.
Right.
On the radio show.
I mean, we could use the opportunity to blast somebody pointless like Anthea Turner into space.
Don't build it. No, because they bring them back.
That was part of the argument about Katy Perry. Is people were very happy that she got sent into space.
Less
but
happy
then
when
they
she came
brought her back.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Understood.
Yeah. So remember, you're getting them back. You're not getting rid of them.
Well, I mean, you want to send sort of philosophers and authors and people who could describe the experience in some way that makes it awesome.
That would make sense.
I suppose like Brian Cox comes to mind because he's written several books. Yeah,
would not sending famous actor Brian Cox into space to say the C word regularly to C-bomb the entire thing.
If you found a full set of people called Brian Cox. You could send Brian Cox the actor, Brian Cox the scientist, and I'm sure you could find 3 other people in Britain called Brian Cox.
Yeah, Brian Cox that works in the all-night garage.
Local building, yes.
Are we just setting Mia up to do his in space thing?
In space!
In space!
And you could call it a mission that was a whole box of cocks.
Or you could a box of cocks.
Just shout bastard every 30 seconds. Bastard!
But you could send people like Hannah Fry or Brian Cox, you say, and
no, Hannah Fry's a really good pick.
And you can't say Brian Cox unless you said Robert Ince. With his duffel coat.
Or old Brian's, now you could put Brian Blessed on board and you wouldn't need a radio.
Oh my goodness, with that
even in a vacuum,
imagine him doing the in-space thing.
Imagine up in a space walk. Oh, for God's sake, yes, bollocks!
Close the bloody airlock, it's drafty in here!
I punched a camel once!
Yes. I punched a Thargoid!
Asteroids punched that bastard! Yes. You should just send him out to defend the Earth from incoming asteroids.
You really want a British space station up there, don't you?
But I mean, there are so many legendary people that you could send up into space who would come back and use the English language or any language eloquently. They can inspire. They could just
send anyone. Anyone from Red Dwarf.
Oh yeah. Craig Charles would be good. He'd enjoy it.
Don't send that bunch of smeggots.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, they would all.
Tarkadal of the Vindiluvians kind of message from space. Now that would be special.
I think Craig Charles used to write poems. I don't think they were particularly good, but he did used to write poems. So he's of that mindset.
Chris Berry definitely would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll tell you how it works. He'll find out how it works.
Well, Chris Barry's quite a fascinating person to listen to. Or but there are a million people in front of the people they sent to space recently that I would put up in space to talk about it.
Mallet.
Yeah. Do you know who I think would be really eloquent about it? So, Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You've seen his various rather philosophical broadcasts about whether it's politics or it's about humanity being awesome to each other. Don't you think he would be a great person to send into space and then hear what he has to say afterwards? His broadcasts, albeit historically maybe he's not been the most eloquent of movie stars. You
put a Terminator in a space station. What do you get? Skynet.
Yeah, but that's cool.
It'd be worth it though.
Right. Who's been changing the headlines? Asteroids hitting moons? What?
It's up to about 3.5% now for hitting the moon.
Oh, right. Okay. So is that it for space news for this week?
Unless you had a fourth story.
Well, the fourth story was about pointless celebrities in space.
In space! Yes, okay, that's us done then.
Aboard a giant penis!
Peanuts?
Yes. Well, anyway, those jokes from the old Austin Powers about the shape of Bezos's rocket.
We may have done that last week with the pecker and the.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Johnson.
Got the childish humour out the way, but
no, never got it out the way. But we did it. We did send it out for some exercise.
Yes, gave it an airing.
Yes,
from under the kilt.
Yes, indeed.
Right, okay. Well, I suppose that's it for space news. So there we go. I'm getting the buttons right this week.
It's like you're starting fresh or something.
Space news, space news, space news, space news, space news, space news, space news.
Is there a word of the week this week?
Oh, bloody hell, I forgot Ash the bastard.
Oh, we forgot we don't have an Amelia this week, so
Yes.
Well, yes, we have a word of the week this week, and the word of the week is blathers. I know this one, and I'm still stumbled over it. Blatherskite.
And do you know what it means?
Well, apparently, because no, I didn't. A person who talks at great length without making much sense.
You bastards.
And can you use it in a sentence?
Oh, David, you just watch me. Tonight's show started later than usual because the crew are the shower of blatherskates.
Blatherskates, yes.
Still trying to do my Russians.
Yeah. Well, when you said
blatherskates.
When you said blatherskate, you were getting into Old English there, because there is an Old English version of it that's blatherskate, and the Scottish version is blatherskite. So so you were equally correct, whatever you said.
And whichever version of it in the script is scrolling across the screens now.
Yes.
So does blatherskite have the same etymology as blatherune?
There wasn't blatherune.
Blatherune, yeah, that's the one.
Very possibly. The blather is talking. And we still use a word very like that up in Scotland where you call somebody a blether.
Blethering it.
That just sounds
not blethering,
like
not
posh
blether.
Well, according to the Mr. Dusty bot, apparently yes, the blather is common to both of them. To chatter or to talk loudly, yes.
Because the blatherune was a senseless babbler or boaster.
Yes.
And a blatherskite, which is blather.
Somebody who does it at great length, not just consequentially. Yeah.
Apparently, a skite is a contemptible person, according to Mr. Dusty.
Oh, so you can be a skite, but also skate, which seems to be just a person or a dude or.
We've all played the game Blather Round, of course, as well. Have we not? The Jackbox-related game where you are just talking nonsense. It's good fun, actually, Blather Round.
Oh, okay.
I recommend it. You have like a theme that you're trying to get across, but they only give you very finite words. So, I don't know, you have Harry Potter and you might say, he's a magical young being or something like that, and they have to guess what your film is you're trying to tell them about, or book.
Okay.
Apparently.
E.T.
Yes, well, apparently there are some synonyms from blatherskite, which is applesauce, balderdash, baloney, bilge, blarney, bull, bunk, and bunkum.
That's just the B section.
Yes. Well, apart from the applesauce, yes.
well, we've had bunkum. We've had bunkum on a previous week. We've also had poppycock.
Yeah.
Have we had voluble?
Voluble? No, I don't think you have. No. Too sensible.
How about codswallop?
We have had codswallop.
Although I know what it means.
Only throughout the script.
Describes a lot of this show. For those of you who are tuning in who've not seen a Hutton Orbital broadcast before, it's a lot of banter and talking nonsense. You can get on with the flying because you do that all the time. We do the other bit, which is talking about stuff. Right. Now you're going to ask me where the blazes this button is for the next bit.
Where the blazes is this button for this
I
next
wasn't
bit?
going to ask you. I was going to wait for you to find it.
Well, yeah. I mean, Volcarius has got a bit. Do you want the full? Do you want the full bit? The full intro, Volcarius? The unexpurgated, unabbreviated.
Your call, really.
I think yes.
Yeah, I'm just covering to try and find the button.
We're here. Remember, we're here for a long time, not a good time.
Lots of space, backslash, what do you need to know? Being from Hutton straight to your brain. Being from Hutton straight to your brain. Being from Hutton straight.
And assuming 21 also has the slides ready, welcome to Space Facts.
What?
This week?
Hey, what? Slides?
Remember the conversation you had with?
Oh, this is that bit. Oh, right.
Yeah.
I've got a button.
Next slide, please.
Okay,
Yes.
so I don't have to hit the randomise button on this one. They're in order, aren't they?
Oh no! Don't hit the randomise button.
No, yeah. It depends how confused you want the listeners to be.
Can we have flashbacks to COVID era broadcasts of first slide, please? Yes.
Professor
You can have
Presbyterian.
you can have factor numbers as is customary during the
Okay,
space facts
go on then.
with the So this week we're blasting off with several tangential, lateral, and 3-axis rotational means of cruising your Corsairs, moving your Mandalays, pushing your Python Mark IIs across the galaxy. It's all about those ominous agents of oxidation we call propellants for powerful propulsion. Even if the citizens of Eden have deemed it too valuable to waste on journeys to restock Hutton Orbital. Fact number 1.
I got it! Hey!
The entire notion of moving with propulsion in and of itself forms the basis for how space is defined, rather than being a fully arbitrary distance above the planet, or a fully pure angle subtended by it. The very definition of having left a livable planet and entered space is that the craft has gone high enough for the atmosphere to be too thin for classic aeronautic aviation to work, such that propulsion becomes the only possible way to continue, at least in the upward direction. Of course, that means the exact height of the threshold really depends on how good your aircraft tech is, but generally this occurs within the range of 80 to 100 kilometers above ground. Fact number 2, with gap to find the next slides.
I've got number 2. Hang on a second. You've got 2 slides for certain
Yeah,
facts,
you can.
which is
You can flip
I've not
between
got
them or-
eyeballs on this one, so I've got this one. Look, there's
Yeah,
that's Katy Perry
just-
blasting off.
So if there are more than one, just divide the general amount of time per fact between.
I've got to remember how many there are for each one. Oh, go on then. This is number 2. I've got it. I've got your list now. Here we go. Fact number 2,
fact
part
number
1. Yeah, there we go.
For a spacecraft launching out to orbit, that first 100 kilometers to reach the space threshold uses up between a third and a half of its propellant. To be fair, orbital launches do a lot better than trying to launch directly vertical, which would use around 5/6 of the propellant, but it's still a race against gravitation to get all the delta V from that fuel as quickly and safely as one can. Typical launch stages use a mix of liquid oxygen and either kerosene, liquid hydrogen or liquid methane, and aim to burn 1 to 2 tons of it per second. Solid fuel propulsion uses powdered metals and oxidizers and can burn 5 tons per second. In contrast, modern supercruise burns hydrogen fuel at the far more modest rate of 200 grams per second. Fact number 3. Before the advent of frameshift technology, deep space missions used ionized gas propulsion. Using a propellant such as inert xenon gas particles, the engine first bombards them with electrons to knock away their existing electrons in a process called electron bombardment. The resulting positive ions can then be accelerated in an electromagnetic field at overwhelming speeds so high that a relatively small amount of propelled mass confers a decent amount of momentum for the spacecraft. Of course, all that egress of positive ions causes a huge build-up of negative charge, so an ion engine also requires a neutralizer, which balances it out by dumping free electrons out the back of the ship. If it didn't, it would cause lightning-like arcing between ship components and through any atmosphere if it tried to land, and its speed would be limited severely due to attracting the outbound ions back again, undoing all that work in propelling them in the first place. Number 4. Unlike that's the one for 5. The 4 is the video.
You say run VT. You got to say run VT, or I can't do it.
What's a VT?
I don't know. They used to say it on. Yeah, that's the one. They used to do it on breakfast TV.
Well, whatever a VT is, hurry up and run it.
Run VT. Yeah. There we go. I'm running VT.
Unlike with an orbit around a planet, if a spacecraft out in the black uses propulsion to achieve a similar circular path, the passengers will experience artificial gravity on board. Despite this idea confusing several people, it's actually super simple. In the case of a planetary orbit, the planet's gravity affects both the spacecraft and the passengers inside, so they experience weightlessness because they're actually in coalescing orbits moving together with the ship around them. Conversely, if we yeet the planet away and replace it with propelled acceleration to achieve the same circular path, now one side of the spacecraft is actively pushing the passengers inward all the time to keep them moving along the same circle, a natural surface equivalent to the floor of a room. I quite like that video. You can have that video if you want.
Yeah, we might use that as a background for a bit. That's quite cool. I mean, the station using the guns is...
Oh, yeah, there was some shenanigans going on. It was a tethering attempt, kind of, but the Corsair is kind of too powerful to tether at such a small distance. So I ended up speeding up a little bit too much, but that wasn't the point. The point was to show that the thrusters are just constantly on and keeping you in a circle. So.
Oh, well, there we go. Right, so stop VT.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Cease
this video. Right, I've
this
ceased
video
it.
take progress at once.
There we go. I'm going back to the ones. We had that one. We had that one. We had that one. We had that one. Hang on a second.
So,
I'm scrolling through them. We've had that one.
Oh, so I'll start the fact. It'll be fine. So, fact number 5: to stabilize a spinning spacecraft, the absolute minimum number of propulsion exhausts needed is only 2. However, this is that's the fact. That's the picture for the first one and the second one.
What? Second one. There we go.
You'll get there. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
Yep. However, this is extremely impractical in requiring very specific placement of those two, having no redundancy at all, taking ages to achieve the desired tumble, and causing a lot of lateral movement in the process. 3 tangential exhausts at right angles can at least avoid most of the lateral movement. But it still can't produce immediate torque in any axis, so it still takes a long time to achieve an orientation. Quite predictably, the practical minimum standard is 6 exhausts for independent 3-axis control. The first orbital-class rocket to perform a stable return was the Falcon 9, which has 9 individually gimbaled main thrusters, but only uses the center exhaust, plus 8 small nitrogen gas thrusters to land. The jetpacks for making an emergency return from an EVA or spacewalk have 24 nitrogen exhausts. For comparison, the Sidewinder has 12 exhausts with 2 forward, 2 retro and 8 for rotation, and the Imperial Cutter has 27 exhausts with 5 forward, 2 retro and 20 for rotation. And that's it.
Space facts, lots of space facts. What do you know they need to know? Think from bottom straight to your brain. Beam from bottom straight to your brain. Beam from bottom straight.
That's beamed into my brain and melted at least half of it, but...
So that's half for you, Little Grey. How much of your brain?
Brains? What brain?
Brains.
No,
Brains.
I understand the idea of the rotation. I was just trying to... I got a bit hung up on... I'm sat under a picture of a Hawker Siddeley Harrier jump jet, and that's got 4 thrusters, but it's a single column of exhaust that it uses to maintain and change its pitch. Sorry, a single column of exhaust to keep it upright, but then it also has vents at each wingtip and nose and aft. So that would be 5. I just couldn't get my head around how you would just use 2 to do all of your actions.
You have to. It's only to get your tumble stable, and you'd have to fire one. You'd have to wait for it to rotate a bit while you're, of course, moving yourself sideways, and then fire it again when it's in a different position.
So this is where watching Interstellar and that docking manoeuvre.
Yeah. Doing it in space is different because you don't have to continually thrust upwards so that you don't go splat into the ground.
And that's what you tell all the ladies, yes.
But yeah, with only 2, by the time you've stabilised your vessel, you'll be zooming off sideways because you've got no way to.
So basically, computer control when you get more than 2 is essential because otherwise your brain can't work out what to fire. Yes, you need fly by wire on this one.
I mean, if you're wiggling some stick control, if you've got a HOTAS, then as long as you've got opposing thrusters, then you've just got normal 60 OF control, and so a human will be able to do it just fine. I suppose it's when you've got fewer is when you need a computer to control it for you.
Oh, maybe. But yeah, I mean, watching that, as I said, that docking manoeuvre in Interstellar. I think it was Interstellar, wasn't it? When they all got stressed, and that sort of 15 minutes of intense noise while they're trying to dock in the middle of Interstellar is, yes, wow.
Is that in this first season? Because I might have seen that, actually.
First season, you mean in the movie?
Oh, in the movie? Interstellar. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm thinking Expanse for some reason.
No. When they're trying to do the docking manoeuvre in that one, and it's all stressful, and they've got the wall of noise going on at the same time, and your heart rate's going through the roof, and you need to lie down. That bit, yes.
Yeah.
Spectacular sequence, that one, on the, in terms of the attitude adjustment of the incoming and the trying to match the rotation. Oh, just, yeah.
And remember, you're that was all in.
Well, it did.
System. Yeah, technically.
Only through cables.
Yeah.
But not
Stargate.
Yes, a big Stargate jobby, as they say.
Jobby.
Yes. Talking of big jobbies, Flossy. Not you. I mean the CG.
That's very rude.
the CG that just happened was a great big jobby. It was a big one, wasn't it?
It was. It lasted 2 weeks.
And I missed it because I was doing other things, and I'm annoyed because I wanted an A-rated kill warrant scanner with fast scan, long range modifications. But are you ready to talk about the A-rated kill warrant scanner with fast scan and long range modifications?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And added huff. Hang on a second. This button.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's CG News. The last 2 weeks CG ended today at 1600 UTC between tiers 6 and 7. This is the Defeat Pirates in Planetary Rings of Dawn. There were 596,165,441,282 credits earned by 19,567 contributors. Pilots who registered at least one contribution by handing in bounties at Kid Station will have received the following rewards, which were available at the end of the CGs. 1 fully engineered A-rated kill warrant scanner with fast scan and long-range modifications. 1 new pre-engineered C-rated kill warrant scanner with fast scan and long-range modifications. Imperial Clipper Empire Etiquette paint job and Imperial Cutter Empire Etiquette paint job. There are no new CGs this week. I also mentioned the Shoulder of Orion, which is a DW3 sort of pre-event. This actually concluded a few days ago with the building of an Ocellus spaceport, currently called Flossy Platform, but I believe it's about to be renamed, in the MSJ 2009 L1630 MIR-43 system. That's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
Hang on a second, before we go to the next bit. You're saying that there are no new CGs?
No, not this week.
Well, we know what that means.
Oh, we've had a glitch. We've had a glitch in the recording. Oh no! Recording stopped. Recording started again. Oh no! It's all gone wrong. So there are no new CGs this week.
No.
No CGs this week. What can I say?
Oh no! Is what we say.
Flossy's got no tasks, no work, no play.
Sad face.
The galaxy's calm, no goals in sight.
Body wash going, play it.
Just sit back
What, pardon,
and
hey?
relax.
Naughty body wash in chat going, play it.
Oh, go on then.
No hauling, no fighting, no tasks to do.
Boo!
Flossy's got no news, it's all
Well, she
up
did.
to you.
Not about new ones.
So grab a mug of gin, or maybe two. This week is quiet, no CGs for you. No calls for trucks, no missions to bring.
Bring them back.
Not a single thing, not a single ping. The stars are quiet, the stations too. Guess it's time to chill, nothing's on cue. No hauling, no fighting, no tasks to do.
Lighters in the air.
Flossy's got no news, it's all up to you. So grab a mug of gin, or maybe two. This week is quiet, no CGs for you. No calls for trucks, no missions to bring. Not a single thing, not a single ping. The stars are quiet, the stations too. Guess it's time to chill, nothing's on cue. No hauling, no fighting, no tasks to do. Flossy's got no news, it's all up to you. So grab a mug of gin, or maybe two. This week is quiet, no CGs for you.
Oh, no more CGs this week. Volcarius, you had a question from the floor before we go to the next bit.
Well, such question. I just literally now docked at Kid Station, and it's true, there is a C-rated version of it, which I didn't expect. The A-rated version isn't a new module, it's been out before. And I remember Galnet News Digest mocking the amount of power it takes, which of course long-range A-rated on a kill warrant scanner it does. The C-rated version looks like it might actually be useful.
They did add that after people had been complaining about the other one. So that is brand new. And
anybody who says they don't listen to feedback? Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
It's really good. Yeah, I don't have the other. Well, Alexandra has the A one. I remember that, but I don't. But I also remember it needing like a grade 5 overcharged power plant to use.
And in some of the new ships, which are a bit power limited, certainly the C-rated might be useful.
Yeah, if you're in the Python Mark II.
Yeah, a Type 8, trying to do combat in a Type 8.
Yeah, if you're in a Corsair, it's less limited, although you'll probably want to pack it with shield, Guardian shield boosters. So, yeah.
Excellent. Right, what's next?
Well, speaking of Galnet News Digest.
Oh, it's the Galnet News Digest.
Galnet News Update, 24th of April, 3311. The Falcon de Lacy Cobra Mark V, the only small ship optimised for Supercruise overcharge, is now available for credits. The ship, which has been available in early access for ARCs, since early December last year, is probably the best all-rounder small ship. It's not quite as fast as the Imperial Courier, but in terms of combat, cargo hauling and its ability to jump a sensible distance, it's suitable for all tasks. And of course it's especially useful for visiting settlements that only have small pads, so it's an ideal ship for power play agents. For some reason, De Lacy chose their Chief Financial Officer, Taron Rains, to handle the press release. The company describes the Mark V as a perfect balance of capability and affordability that honours the legacy of one of the most popular ship designs in history. The Mark V is available primarily in high-tech systems. Meanwhile, the pirates in the Dan system have been comprehensively wiped out after 2 weeks, during which nearly 20,000 pilots collected nearly 6 billion credits worth of bounties. The cash reward is available now, while the paint jobs and kill warrant scanners are expected to be handed out shortly.
They are indeed ready now as well. I've just
What?
fitted the C-rated.
Hang on, I've just put the mics live.
Yeah. Well, go on, Flossy. You were saying.
Yeah, the actual physical rewards were actually ready at the end of the CG. In fact, just before the end, I got a message through to say that they were ready when the CG ended.
And can confirm, I have just fitted the C-rated double-engineered kill warrant scanner to a Cobra Mark V.
They must have shipped them early to avoid any tariffs.
Right, so we've been thrown a little bit into disarray here, because for the second week running, we do have a Galnet Rares Digest. The only problem is we don't have an Amelia, which means we can't do it, and we can't find out what happened to her and Steve, But the good news is it's time for Green Room Bits. So does somebody want to grab those two from the other side of the glass? I mean, they're waving. Just tell them to stop licking the glass, will you, please?
Yeah, but one of them's hanky. Do we have to?
Yeah, absolutely. It's important. He's an emperor.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hang on. Oh, he's here.
Everybody bow.
And have you got the other one? Have you got the Commander Aiden? Yay. Mm-hmm. Right. So has anybody got the magic button so we know what order to do the things in?
We do. We do indeed.
Hang on a second. Somebody's pushing the magic button. Dun, dun,
I
dun,
am
dun, dun,
copying.
dun.
I am pasting. There we go.
Oh, so it's me first. Okay. So Commander Aiden.
Yes.
Your microphone is unusually clear this week without any wind noise and chatter.
That's probably because I'm using the headset issued by the office.
Oh dear, you're not in the office, are you? At this hour of the evening.
Oh God, no.
Right. So, how the blazes are you, Commander Aiden? And how is your Trailblazers expansion of Hutton influence going, etc.?
I'm doing all right. Although I seem to be getting some feedback.
Yeah, I am getting a little bit of loop back from somewhere. No idea where. Maybe your machine. Try again.
I doubt it, but...
Oh, no, it's from Mr. Hankey. The audio's coming back through from you. Could you temporarily mute yourself, Mr. Hankey?
Oh, I'll do, yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hankey. Right, try again, Commander Aiden.
I'm just slowly slogging along with the planetary port, the Tier 3 planetary port in Piscium Sector, whatever it is, Bridge 5.
Sounds fishy.
Yeah. Doggo Plant.
Doggo Plant?
Yes.
I mean, that's a very Alvin kind of sounding place.
Yes. Well, I figured, well, at some point we're probably going to need our own supply, even of stuff, even though it's 170 plus light years behind the front line at the moment.
Okay, and so tell us about Doggo Plant. What is picturesque? What kind of planet? Atmosphere? No atmosphere?
No atmosphere. It's closest to the star, but it's sort of just behind the Terminator line, so it's mostly dark. It's
right
generally on the dark side of things.
So basically, it's a planetary port that's a bedtime, permanent bedtime.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the usual stuff. So skimmers, the odd scavenger.
No, I haven't actually finished building it yet.
Oh, so you got all the gantries and the scaffolding and the the cloth.
Yes, there is a lot of cloth, a lot of gantries. There are a few wrecks of ships that accidentally crashed on the way in
it's not
because
a
they had no
world,
shields.
Is it?
No.
All right.
No, but even given that it's a low G world, there are a couple of crashes in the area due to people coming in a little bit too quickly.
Rapid,
without
unscheduled
shields.
disassemblies. Yes.
Well, to quote from the sage Clarksonius, it's not speed that kills you; it's the sudden stop that does it for you.
Yeah, well, that would do it. I'm assuming you need all the usual, lots of steel, lots of CMM composites, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, all I've got left at the moment is the 42,008 aluminium, 50,624 steel, and 33,385 titanium. So, yeah, it's 40% along.
Keep you busy.
Yeah, it's keeping me busy, but good grief, it ain't half a slog.
Yes. This is Hutton. This is what we do.
Yeah. Although I'm thinking at some point, I'm thinking that putting an Orbis or likewise into the space above the first planet, well, that can wait for a while until I've recovered from hauling all of this shit.
Well, I mean, there's always the opportunity to invite some Hutton truckers to come and help you. So if Hutton truckers were to come and help you, which system would they be going for, and what would they be bringing?
Well, it is Piscium Sector OT-Q A5-1. It's
I'm gonna type that one in. Hang on a second. Help needed in. Go on then. I'm typing into the ticker. Needed in. Go on. Do Piscium sector. Yep. Go on then.
OT-Q.
Is that an O or a 0?
Oscar Tango Quebec.
Yep.
Alpha 5-1.
There we go. I've typed it in. It's coming across your screen now. If anybody wants a hint, and if anyone wants to copy and paste that one into the chat, feel free.
It's also currently helpfully set up in the squadron bookmarks as, I believe, Hutton Bridge 5.
Hutton Bridge 5. Understood. Where are we up to on the Hutton bookmarks? I've not checked in recently. Do we know how far out we've gone yet on the Hutton bookmarks?
I think we're a good 200 light years out.
I've been adding the bookmarks, but I haven't been able to rename them. So,
yeah, we're at the bookmarks. We're up to Hutton Highway 19 is the latest bookmark that is listed in the game, and that is currently 157 light years from.
There are others after that.
But yeah,
But they've still got the system names as the bookmarks.
yeah, we're probably in the we're in the Col 285 sector, so you're looking at 200 light years odd from the we're not that far from the initial aim point, but I think the bits around that might have been yoinked.
I'm
But
just trying to have
not-
a look at the moment on colonisation, how far we are. Above us currently ends at... So we're all the way out at... where are we? Col 285 Sector VF NC 731. I think by Commander Malcolm Stark, possibly, is our furthest point away from Hutton at the moment, on the Hutton Bridge. Anyway, well, thank you very much, Commander Aiden.
but
Do you have anything else to add for this week's Green Room?
Not really. That's all I've been doing, other than going and paying a visit to the familials over Easter. And
I did much the same. Cooked roast lamb. Died of a food coma sometime on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, fortunately, that wasn't a problem, as it was just me and Mum. So we managed to convince my sister to stay away because she had mods.
Oh dear.
So.
Oh dear. Which kind of mods?
The American variety.
Oh no. You don't want the American variety mods. That's deadly, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah. And then back up to London, and I've been quietly just bimbling around doing bits and bobs. But other than that, nothing much.
As you do. Well, thank you for popping in. Lovely to talk to you.
And as it were, for the mug.
For the mug. Right, I'm going to hand over... Oh, sorry.
The last one on the spreadsheet is number 26.
So we're 26...
Col 285 Sector VF-N C27-29 by Steve the Red.
Oh, there we go. So yes, we're 20... How many systems out is that? How many light years per system? So we're quite a way away from Hutton now, at the end of the Hutton...
Yeah.
Yeah. Have we found any really cool stuff towards the end yet that's worth stopping yet? Or are they still brown dwarf boring stars?
I think they're starting to find some better ones.
Fine. Well, we need to find a good one to make our second home at. So we might need to chivvy up the...
Surely your third home, because you've got...
Oh, third home, you're right.
Because you had Dabby Minor was the one with
Dabby Minor,
another
yes.
Hutton Orbital, yeah.
So yeah, we need to start looking around there if it's open space to try and find something cool for Hutton 3. Right, okay, well, thank you, Commander Ed. Right, and now it's time for Valkyrios to talk to Hanky. So we need to unmute Mr. Hanky.
Now, I don't know much about the Hanky lore, but I gather this is quite the honour for the Green Room. So welcome, Emperor Hanky.
I've only just been there a bit before, but it's just different things, and got involved in chess and stuff like that, and just never got back. But decided to visit today.
Yeah, have you been... Now, I know you do a lot of Colonia stuff, and we can't do colonisation in Colonia yet, but have you been back to do any of Trailblazers?
Well, I'm doing a lot of Trailblazers. I've finished Colonia now, because I got a bit stressed with it, and it got a job rather than something you enjoy. So I gave up Colonia a few months back, did tell Dave, and then I'm doing all this colonisation now. I've got 11 systems, one for each commander.
you have
Just a few.
you have 11. You have 11 commanders. I've only got one.
And 11 fleet commanders as well. Carriers.
Or 10% of the systems that Hutton are now in have been colonised by Hanky.
Well, I got about 4 systems which we are got our name on, but we aren't the leading country, but that's because it's in Pleiades and somewhere just southeast. I've got 3 systems round about there, which I will concentrate on getting Hutton's name on them. So we're near the Pleiades as well. So.
You've actually managed to get all. Is that the direction that Hutton's moving? So I know the original goal was to escape the bubble, so Hutton isn't walled in by other factions. But now that you're out, are you aiming for the Pleiades?
No, actually, I've got another idea. I'm thinking of going towards the coal shop system sector.
So there's the official Hutton Bridge project, which is in a line which Flossy's part of, and then there's independent commanders who are doing their own thing as well. So the Hutton Bridge is system to system, where Hutton is the primary faction as soon as they get out there. Whereas the kind of expansion Hankey's doing is expanding where Hutton appears as the third faction, and then we take it over afterwards. So Hankey's expansion is a independent expansion out towards the Pleiades, whereas the Hutton Bridge is from Hutton to Hutton to Hutton jumps in a line.
Yeah, well, I've got a few commanders round there as well, so I'm doing my bit for catching around there as well. So I'm doing like 50% Hutton, 50%. The other way, you know what I mean? So I've got an idea at the moment where I'm going to try to get a bridge sorted for myself, go to the coal shack where the Thargoids are still there, and have a bit of fun with them. So, as well, but that's an idea at the moment. It's going to take about 30 systems to get there. But I'll do a lot of.
Yeah, I suppose.
Go on. Yes.
Well, hang on, we've got radio silence. Valkyrius, what was that? Pardon? Hey, what?
Yeah.
I think Valkyrius is having network problems. Oh no.
Possibly. Valkyrius is stuttering. You're back.
Are we good?
You're back.
Now?
Yeah, you're good now.
So I suppose the coal sack is one. It's either if you're trying to colonize to the Thargoids, then you've got the I suppose the California Nebula is the other choice. I haven't checked which is closer, but certainly the coal sack is one place where you can find non-human signals. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you actually got one system in the Pleiades where it's giving off signals. But I mean, I thought, well, why not go for a nebula? And, I know we've got systems out there, but second thing I did when the colonised section is took a commander up there and see if we can colonise off the what we are there, and they won't let you colonise off them, even though it's only about 300 light years off the bubble.
Yeah, it has to be the main. Oh, it should.
That's been built.
I'm sure commanders will get out there eventually.
Yeah,
I know within. That said, within I found last time I jumped towards the Pleiades, it was within around 40 light years of Merope. I managed to get a hyperdiction.
Yeah.
And that was like in January, so they do. There are signals out there within quite the radius. So
yeah, it's just just that nebula. And I thought we've got one. We're going out to the west. Somebody's going out south. The DW going out southeast. I thought, well, northeast hasn't been sort of covered, so I thought I'll do that. But that's that'll probably be a year or two in planning. That will be, but I'm colonising all my systems at the moment. I'm concentrating heavily on my main system at the moment, which one I actually had to fight for to get under Hutton's name, because I made a big mistake. I didn't do it from my own system, because I thought, I'm having this system, I'm having this system, and I just flew to the nearest star system, not realise it wasn't Hutton, and just claimed. Then I went, oh dear, I've got to have a big fight for win the system, and I went and won it on the last day. That's where my Orbis is, and I'm building what my next project in there is building Flossy's Sunrise, which is a Corollis for Flossy. That means I'll have three. I've got 3 outposts in there already. I've got one Crowley's, building another Crowley's, and I've got a Oculus. So when I finish that one, and I haven't finished building that one, yeah, I'll sell this. No, it's Orbis, sorry.
Either way, the tier 3s.
They are, I think it got to me back. I didn't do much to it for about 3 weeks. I just set it up. Then all of a sudden, I think it's taken about 2 weeks solid grafting to do, which I'm used to that sort of thing anyway. So,
I don't know how many commanders you're able to use at once.
Yeah, well, the thing is, what I was doing is using one commander, filling it up, then sending it off. While that was being sent off, I was using another commander, fill another fleet carrier up, and then sent that off. Then, at the moment I'm getting all my steel, I've got them round orbiting Euro, all orbiting one planet, and I just choose which is the nearest one to the station. So those are the other end of the planet I don't use until they get to the near end of the planet. So, and it's dead easy because all you got to do is quick jump and back. It speeds you up. But
yeah, that was a thing during the Thargoid War actually, because whenever we would move a carrier full of suspiciously corrosive items next to one of the rescue megaships, it was always, we really, really hope we're going to end up on the same side as the rescue megaship. So it sounds kind of like the same thing. If you
same thing.
Don't have to go around the planet.
Yeah. So we're all going round, and then I'll just choose which commanders, which fleet carrier. Oh, that's blah 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 fleet carrier. I'll want to use that commander instead. So then the same thing when I arrive at the thing, but then I tend to, if it's not close, I tend to just do another small jump as well to get it a bit closer on when I'm like at my planet. So because there's not many carriers there, and 1/3 of the time it gets it really close. So that's while I'm actually unloading it as well. I'm actually doing 2 jobs at one stage.
Well, I'd imagine if you need any BGS, you probably need to poke the apology officer to tell truckers to get Hutton back in those systems, rather than you just doing it.
Yeah, well, we are in that system at the moment. We control it. So at the moment, but with the other systems in Pleiades and up near the Hyades sector, I've got 3 up there, that sector. So which is virtually just to the left of Pleiades, or just to the right of south to the east of Pleiades. Sorry. So it's
that's kind of around where I kind of remember things where the Titans were, because I associate Hyades sector with where Tyrannus was.
I mean, I've got two systems there right next to each other, and they've basically got 42 and 50 landable planets on. Not landable, but planets on. So I've got a lot of building to do there as well to get them up.
Yeah.
And they're producing quite a few things as well, even in the small stations at the moment, because I've virtually got enough to do all the shopping list for the orbitals and the surface ones. So just go there, get on a T8, grab all the stuff, and there's presto. I don't have to go anywhere else.
Yeah, so, sounds brilliant. So, is that all from you, or is that for the mug from you, Phil?
For the mug, yes.
Okay, for the mug.
Sorry I've been on so long.
No, don't ever apologise. No, it's great to hear from you. It's great to have you here. Next, and thank you for dropping in. Hang around for the rest of it.
I'll do.
So next bit, we've got Little Grey to invite Litho.
Yes, hello, Litho.
Hello.
Yes. Well, have you been jet setting again of recent? Because I know you travel frequently, good sir.
Well, we've been doing another site that I had to travel to on a daily basis, but given that it's the site that is 6 miles away from my house, it wasn't so much jet setting as getting a lift into work and dropped off at the gate by my wife as she was heading off to work herself each morning. So Not quite as exotic.
Easy enough then. Well, yeah, not quite.
Yeah, not too bad.
Flight 222 to Toulouse or anything.
No.
This time. Disappointing.
No, nothing so exciting this time.
What else is new in the world of litho?
Not an awful lot, really. The next project at work is that they're trying to do a data separation of two distinct systems, which we've tried to do 4 times in the past, and every time we point out how complicated it is, management say either, no, that's too expensive, or no, that's too disruptive, and stop. But this time they're insisting that they definitely want to do it this time, so we've got to go through all of the planning and the design and point out why it's expensive and why it's disruptive, and we're trying to work out whether this time it'll actually happen or they'll turn around and say, no, it's too expensive, too disruptive, just stop. And there's a poor guy running the project. There's a poor guy running the project who's not been around for it in the past, and he thinks it sounds quite doable, and he usually ends up sobbing at the end of the meetings discussing various things. But I mean, we're not being negative, we're being helpful and constructive and productive and suggesting solutions to the opportunities that we're raising. You're not allowed to call them problems anymore, are you? So the opportunities that we're raising, we're suggesting solutions, and it's the solutions that we're suggesting that are making him sob and try and pull his hair out.
Oh, that's almost the worst part of it by the sounds of it.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. It'll just cost 50 grand's worth of new hardware on all 17 sites.
Because you have to
we
put it
wanted
somewhere
to
else
do
while
it
you
for
do
nothing. No, just because they need more cables and more firewalls and doing stupidly high speed. It's
rough.
It's the logical extension of the direction they've gone in. But kind of technical and boring, really, in the most part. In game, I'm still working on getting my joystick repaired. So, actually my throttle technically, but half of my HOTAS repaired. So I've been kind of absent from flying.
You have been grounded. What happened to it? What was it, and why did it die?
It is a Cytec X56, not a Logitech X56, but a Cytec X56. So it's served its time, and it got moved upstairs over Christmas when we were decorating down here, which I'm back down in the basement where I live. I spend about 10 hours a day here, so I think I must live in it. It got moved upstairs with all computers when we were decorating the basement, and that was fine. And then it got moved back downstairs after we'd finished decorating, and now the throttle is constantly moving forwards, no matter where you put the throttle. And the thumbstick on the throttle, which is a full 2-axis controller, is pulling hard down and to the right.
Interesting.
And given that you use that for lateral thrusters, it means that I'm constantly flying forwards and trying to ram the floor.
That must have taken a bit of a headache to...
Yeah.
How did you work it out?
Well, I could see what was going on, so I fired up the joystick calibration tools and it was going, no. So, not good. But for 3 of the analog axes to be leaping off in weird directions, it's either the controller's dead or there's some really obvious loose wire inside it. So I'm hoping there's a really obvious loose wire when I finally get it open, but it's a pain to get at the screws, and I need to get an even longer screwdriver than I've got, because the ones I've got that are long enough are too wide to fit in the tiny little holes. Yeah. I need something with a really small head and about a foot of shaft.
Shaft.
Yeah. Funny. Yeah. But worst case, I'll be biting the bullet and buying a new HOTAS, because I've tried again to fly with the Xbox controller. It's just not happening. I can technically manage it if I've got a docking computer. But that's about the best I can do.
A docking computer.
Well, yeah, but that's fine if all you're doing is trading slowly. As soon as you're trying to do anything else or anybody attacks you and you can't fly, you're kind of stuffed. And I can't fly with a controller.
No.
I fly with a controller on a laptop, but I will use HOTAS on a desk, which has ended up meaning that I will fly with a controller more often than not. And I'm sure all of the Steam Deck people will go, yeah, I can do that. Anywho, shall we stop talking, or shall we carry on?
Yeah, I think it's probably for the mug from me.
What you are.
Right, it's me to check in with Flossy. Now, I know you're busy because every Friday night you leave early to go and do stuff on Elite, so what have you been up to?
Oh, well, I did help with the Shoulder of Orion, DW3. I noticed it was getting towards the end, so I'd done some at the beginning, and then I'd gone to do some of my own stuff. And I thought, oh, I better get back to it before the finish.
Were there attack ships on fire?
What?
Were there attack ships on fire off the Shoulder of Orion? It's from
Blade Runner quote.
Blade
Flossy.
Runner.
Sorry, I didn't quite understand that.
Doesn't matter.
Very quick aside, fun fact about that quote, Mia. Sorry to interrupt Flossy's bit, but Rutger Hauer wrote that the night before they filmed it because he didn't like the line that had been written for him.
Yep.
Oh, it's one of them, was it? I'm not very knowledgeable and stuff like that. Sorry.
That's all right.
Right.
It's the Tears in the Rain speech. So.
Yeah.
Really? Right. So anyway, I did that, and then I came back to do some more work on my own system. I have two at the moment. There's the first one, Piskim Sector MT-Q A5-5, which also needs lots of help.
That's a catchy title.
And I'm currently working on an Orbis. I've got most of the small stuff, but I still need. I've just finished getting all the aluminium. I'm in the process of collecting CMM composites, and then I'll still need the steel and titanium. And once I've got all that, then it'll be done. Hopefully in the next
It'll never be done. It'll always be something else.
Yeah. And then the other system I got has a lot of bodies in it. But a lot of them, all the interesting ones, are over.
Is that all the bodies from your ground combat? Is that all the bodies from your ground combat? Never mind.
It's got a lot of planets.
Okay.
And but a lot of them are over 530,000 light seconds away.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a pain. It's brighter than the other one. The other one's a brown dwarf. This one at least has a brighter star. But as I say, most interesting stuff's on the far side of the system. I did do a full scan on the full system.
Yeah.
And found there were some planets with geysers and stuff on them. So I'm thinking of doing like touristy bases on them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I lost all the cartographic data for it.
Right. Okay.
When I had a bit of a unexpected explosion in the system I've been collecting stuff from. I don't know what it was. I've written off to Frontier and said, look what happened, and I've not heard back. I just blew up.
Yeah.
So I lost my data. In fact, I lost the data for the system I was in getting the other materials. Because I scanned that to start with to find the planet that I needed to go to, because I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And then I found after my crash that I'd lost it again. I thought, oh no, that means I've lost the one for the other system as well.
Yeah.
Which is a bit annoying. But anyway, I've done I've started a satellite that you need for the tourist stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
I started building a satellite. And then once I've got this Orbis finished in my other system, I'll concentrate on that one and getting some touristy type things set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's about it for me.
Oh, that's a lot though.
In between times, I've been doing more cross stitch.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I've decided I'm not framing stuff from now on.
No.
I'm putting it in a big portfolio, plastic pages.
Yeah.
So I can take it places and say, yeah, look at this.
Absolutely.
This one's awesome. This other one's awesome. That one's also awesome. Yes.
Yes.
Is that another word for awful?
No.
Well, it shares some letters, yes.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, that's about small, is it for me? I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Right,
it's
well,
Right,
For the
so
mug.
it
For the mug.
lands on me to check in with Volcarius. I mean, other than videoing great video loops, which are on screen right now, and coming up with science facts for our space facts bit, what have you been up to, Volcarius?
Oh, today buying a Cobra Mark V, which apparently boosts with grade 5 dirty drives, but without drag drives at 666 if you are below the minimum mass threshold.
That's a
during
number.
the show. During the show, I may have gone to Flossy Farseer, may have put drag drives on it, and it may be boosting 690. I don't know exactly how I'm going to use it, but
Probably if you're going whoosh in directions. I've been using. I must admit, I've been using the Cobra 5 just for tooling around the place. I've been testing things and all sorts, and it's just quite a handy ship to tool around and do small stuff in. It's a ship of all trades.
Yeah, and I don't actually think I've got many of those. Normally, I'm very single purpose. But in any case, to keep it relatively short, I have been fiddling around with the official Beat Saber editor. And there's a reason for that. I wasn't using the official one before, but Dreams of Mandalay, which was using the Kaleidoscope environment, after having browsed online and found a literal space environment, which I didn't know existed, because I don't know.
You mean this one? This song?
That song, yeah.
Right. It's perfect Beat Saber. Yeah,
it's difficult to make. It was quite more challenging than some other things to do in Beat Saber, but I have done a beat map for that. I am going to bring that to ECM later. Later in the year.
Are you demanding a room to put VR in?
Well, I've borrowed a projector, so not just maybe a corner of a room somewhere.
I think we can
I might be able to give you a whole room for that.
It's not a very high spec projector, so
No, I'm thinking about VR headset.
No.
I'll have mine with me, and I'll be playing.
Corner of a room, because then we can all watch people do it at the same time.
That was kind of the thought. Was to
I do have a spare room.
I get quite animated when I'm doing it.
I'd like to see it. So, the thought was if I can cast it to a laptop, which I know I can do right now, and I can make the laptop. I can just plug HDMI into the projector. Then we should be able to do Spectator, Beat Saber, or any other.
Litho, can we put that on the main screen?
Don't see why not.
I think I have a space I could put that in. If yes, because we got for the mug one that was done back in the day by Dead Meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
I'd imagine. We'll see. I was only planning to project it, but I suppose we'll see on the Friday if we can. If I don't know how you use like OBS or something to stream it somehow.
Litho has the technology.
Video Ninja.
Yeah.
Oh right, if you've got a like a box, you put like an HDMI box, like a capture box.
No, it's just a website that you go to that you can share anything on your screen as if it was a website virtual camera. So it's really easy to pull into OBS.
Oh, we have a Beat Saber room. Now I've got ideas.
But the point was though, it turned out to be the Daft Punk environment, but there's literal stars and orbits and shiny things, and I'm learning how to use the group lighting system. I've gone through about 2/3 of it, and it has bright flashy lights in that better environment. So hopefully that's something I'll make a video of it and hand it to Hutton News for playing in the background.
We will have to have a look, and then we'll have to put Flossy in there with a camera on her and watch Flossy kick ass.
Kick something.
It would be fun to kick the blocks. In fact, it'd be fun to punch the blocks. I kind of wish there was a punch saber. Or beat punch,
like
Ninja Saber, yes.
Synthesizers is more like punching. Have you ever played that?
No, I've only got Beat Saber.
I've
worked out that.
So sounds awesome. We need to put space aside for it. Do you have plans for next week's Space Facts? Don't give away spoilers, but have we got something sciencey and cool for next week?
I haven't thought it up just yet. So that's this is where I.
So the answer is yes.
For suggestions.
Hey, it's Volcarius. The answer is yes. Right.
The answer will be yes by next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was. As it was the previous week for this week, I kind of decided on the weekend what to do. So.
Cool. Right. Well, if that's it, are we for the mugging?
That is. Yes, for the mug.
I believe Litho, the apology officer, has presented their apologies.
Yeah, she's pissed off.
She's bugging off.
Oh.
Right.
So that would be Flossy to you.
Hello. Well, I'll say, how have you been this week?
Oh my goodness gracious me! I mean, I've got the long version, the short version, the medium version, all sorts of things. No, it's been a bit crappy for a few weeks, but things are good. I'm here and I'm pushing the buttons, which is great. Health is reasonably okay. Work is sort of awesome. I've been working quite a lot on that other space game in the simulator.
Oh yeah,
the other one, and had quite a spectacular week. Something I invented went a little bit viral, which went well. So
nice.
Keybind management tools and setup tools for that other space game went a little bit viral as a result of the guys at CIG, which has meant massive support. In the Discord, whatever else for new adopters, but it's fantastic to see something you've created being picked up by people and loved by people and used a lot. In terms of elite related stuff, auditioning new cast, I can't really say much more than that. New names, new people, new packs.
Yeah.
Exciting names, but there's no more than that I can talk about. Doing that bit and adding in a load of audio for docking, landing. Ad Astra, working on the Ad Astra stuff with HCS. So it tells you about atmosphere types and volcanism and whether it's landable or not when you fly by planets and scan them. So I've been doing an awful lot of planet scanning to get the audio sequence sounding right. Telling you about whether it's got an atmosphere, if there are geysers and not Cecil. So I've been doing quite a bit of that, testing on landing on planets a lot, and working out orbital cruise markers. And when you exit orbital cruise, it telling you, right, the planet's buggered off now, we're off somewhere else. So doing quite a bit for Ad Astra. Other than that, Easter Sunday lunch, roast lamb, fat belly, and marginally lost the eyesight in my left eye and the hearing in my left ear, but it's all better now, mostly. So
good.
I'm back.
Nice to see you back.
Oh, it's nice to be back. I've missed it. An awful lot.
We've missed you.
all the evil writing and the tongue twisters, yes. So looking forward to what the next ship is. I have genuinely no idea, but I've been trying to work through where we are now and what brand hasn't had a ship, and the Vulture Mark II, a combat ship, a successor to the Vulture. Ooh, you see, that would be good.
We haven't had another heavy yet, Anaconda 2.
Anaconda 2. Or a new one, the Boa. We haven't had a Boa yet. I do think we need a Boa Constrictor.
Is that getting nowhere?
Well, I mean, Hanky would approve on a decent snaky one, wouldn't you?
Burmese python, most friendly snake you can get.
No, we had that at the last ECM. The royal python, the ball python, the Burmese python. No, we've got enough pythons.
Reticulated python, reticulated ball python.
Dwarf reticulated python. No, I think we need a boa, possibly.
Nice feather one.
A feather boa. A pink feather boa.
What about a Western hognose?
A Western hognose, definitely, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we need to hark back to the original, and I think the next one needs to be something. We had the gecko. Gecko would be cool from the original. Yeah, gecko or a boa from the original 1984.
Gecko's a lizard.
I know it's a lizard, but it's one of the original ships. We've got the Mamba, we've got the Viper, we've got the Cobra, but we haven't had the gecko. We haven't had the Moray starboat, but I mean that presupposes it's aquatic landings. So I think the boa or the gecko could be good guesses for what's coming next. Or something completely new. I don't know. But other than that, yeah, basically busy doing nothing, working the whole day through, and maintaining my sanity just about. Thank you, Flossy.
Thank you.
And for the mug. And who's next? It's
the mug.
Volcarius to interrogate the grey.
Interrogate.
Get the big lamp, point it at him.
And so this is what a lamp looks like.
Fancy that.
So little grey.
Yes.
Have you been in Piscium sector OT-Q A5-1?
I haven't been pissing anywhere, actually. No. No, I haven't been in game. I have been in Lands Yonder. I say Lands Yonder. I've been up north with family members this week. And this weekend, I am going out onto a mountain bike on a hill and hope that I don't lose limbs, because that will be truly awkward. And then after that, I'm going camping again. So
my son's just been up north camping.
Admittedly, the two events are unrelated. We're probably going down.
It must look brilliant. Like it must be very, very scenic.
Depends where you go. I mean, we're going over to the Cotswolds camping this time. Up north where we were was Macclesfield, not renowned for being the prettiest city in the world, and nor is Liverpool really either, which is one of the places where we went.
What are you trying to say about Liverpool?
They work really hard, but it's just not that pretty of a city, and it's all built on the slave trade. if you want it in a nutshell.
I don't want to worry you, but that was a Northern Irish accent then.
Yeah. Well, I can do that now as well. Then clearly,
yeah, you've got the relatively slow Russian.
And the Northern Irish when you try for Scouse. Great.
Yeah. As we correctly established, I cannot do accents properly, but I'm okay with this.
Well, we're okay. We're okay with it too. It worked nicely for the show.
Nicely. But yeah, I unfortunately am unlikely to get into game that much, if at all, over the next few weeks. But I'm okay with that, I think. So I'm just going to say...
okay. I was going to say, are you at least looking forward to ECM?
I am. I have started pulling together the sound desk, building it up into its own little case, and then I need to actually pull together the list of things that we need other than the stuff what I have. So yeah, hopefully in the next week or two, I'll have something meaningful to send over to the required peoples.
That'd be me then.
Well, it could be you, or it could just go straight to the direct point of... I've forgotten the company name, but other way. Yes, I'll talk to you first, and then you can tell me to talk to them, and I will. But yes, let's say for the mug.
For the mug.
For the mug. Right, well, I think that's it for the Green Room. Thank you very much. This is our once a month sort of deeper dive into what everybody's been up to, etc. Don't forget that you can pop in and say hi to us if you want on a weekly basis. Sorry, on a monthly basis. if you want, it's always the last one of the month. Flossy, if anybody wants to come and join us at the last one of the month for a chat and a bit of company, how do they join us again?
They go to ts.forthemug.com.
But that's not a website. Yeah.
No, it's not a website. It's TeamSpeak server.
So you need TeamSpeak to run it, and you can come and join us, and you can say hi. I mean, talk about your squadron, talk about you, talk about your colonisation of the Pleiades alongside King Hanky, or Commander Aiden. Whatever you like at the end of the month. So the next one is at the end of next month, which will be May already. For goodness sake, where does it go? I was trying to work out how many shows we've done, but it's hundreds upon hundreds upon. Well, we must be nearly 1,000 now. We don't keep track like those guys at Live Radio do. Don't forget to tune into Live Radio on Tuesdays, by the way, where they have a much more serious chat than we do. Other than that, I made a complete cock-up on the recording, which means I need to, at the end of this one, splice it back together again. Does anybody have any other business for this week?
No.
No?
Other than...
Nope.
Amelia, we hope you're okay.
Yes. Somebody, if you see Amelia, send her our way. EliteCommunityMeet.com. So Elite Community Meet, sorry,
it's
ECM.
Not .com, it's .info. Yeah.
.info. No, Litho, you got it wrong.
Yeah,
delete. Ban Litho. I've got a ban Litho breaker. There we go. Delete message. Elite Community Meet. Well, we have in recent days passed last year's ticket booking total, which means we have more people coming already with 4 months left to go than we had by the day of the event last year, which is awesome. We've got some exciting new content which we're going to talk about as the months go by, including hopefully a Beat Saber special with Volcarius and Flossy. P.S. You just voted to host that one.
I do have several dozen custom maps, and only one of the 90% of custom maps out there are really bad. I've kind of curated.
So Hutton's up there with those, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. It's not the worst. So For the Mug isn't the worst map ever, although it does have some really long crouch sections that shouldn't be there. It's got some hand claps that should never be used. It's got some vision blocks that should also not be the case.
I like For the Mug.
So Naughty Body Watch says we've done almost
correction.
400 streams, by the way, if Twitch stats are accurate. By the way, Naughty Body Watch... Yeah. Go on then.
The asterisk was on whichever was the highest difficulty that it had.
Right, well, we have to...
I don't do that.
A league table on one map only with, who kicks ass hardest at one of the tunes. Maybe the Mandalay tune. We mix it up too much. It becomes just, have a go and nothing else. We need a competition. Sorry, Naughty Body Wash was saying that apparently we've done 400 streams on Twitch. Yeah, but that's when we started doing Twitch, which is when we stopped doing live music, which was pretty recently. So there are many years before that, Naughty Body Wash. ECM. What are the dates? Anyone remember?
Isn't it the 16th of August?
16th of August up in Coventry in the UK.
Yes, 16th of August 2025, Village Hotel Coventry.
Already
is about 10 minutes from Little Grey.
It is very close.
We have already 158 commanders, luminaries from the galaxy, joining us, including everybody from Zulu Romeo, the first person to Sagittarius A star, the legendary fuel rat Flossy, streamers, and all sorts. We had Psykit join us last year. We had Little Grey. We didn't have the apology officer, but we're hoping possibly apology officer this year. Hutton live from the stage, retro, all sorts of stuff. So 16th of August. I think it costs £12.50 if you want to pop in for the day, unless you need feeding, in which case you pay more for the food. To pop in for the day and say hi to other commanders. Other than that, we need to raid somebody. Has anybody got any eyes on who the blazes we can raid at the end of the show?
No, I have no idea.
Right, okay.
Truth be told, I'll be going to bed.
Okay, so that's normally an Amelia question, but we don't have an Amelia, so let's start looking. If anybody in chat has got any recommendations. Oh, go on then, Hanky.
Yeah, I'll be bringing 2 chess ups and a 4-player version of chess.
A 4-player version of chess?
4 players can play on.
So you need a square table?
A round table.
Well,
a square.
Is that 2v2? Is that 2v2 or is it 4 colours?
4 colours. You can use a square tables or you can use a round table. It doesn't matter.
God, I can't even manage 2.
So
David's stuffed then.
Oh, look, I can't see straight after the first 10 minutes when I'm wrangling you lot. Okay, so who should we go see? We've got...
Well, there's an otter that says they're playing Elite Dangerous. Yeah, Mr. Face 999.
How do you spell that? Mr. with M-I-S-T-R or M-R?
M-R-F-A-C-E.
Yeah, 999.
999.
I'm gonna have a quick glance at that one. General Space Silliness.
And they've got a bunny cam, which is always a win. So
that's not a bunny. That's a weasel.
No. They've got a bunny cam. It's an otter or possibly a weasel that's playing, but they have a bunny cam in the corner of their screen.
Right, okay, in which case we are going to go and raid that person at the end of the show. As is traditional, we're going to play a tune at the end of the show and some credits, which you do need to read because they've got cool recipes and life instructions you need to follow. Other than that, I think that's it.
Especially the ones about not licking things.
Yeah, don't lick. What is it?
The apology officer.
Stratum tectonicus. Do not lick. The stratum tectonicus. Okay, right. Credits.
Lick everything.
Yeah, lick everything. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. For the mug.
Thank you, everyone.
For the mug.
For the mug.
Well, I fired up my sidewinder, feeling mighty bold. Heard tales of anacondas worth their weight in gold. Said I'll head to Hutton Orbital and make my fortune grand. But little did I know, it weren't quite as I planned. Oh, I flew to Hutton Orbital in my little ship so tight, through the void of space on that long dark night. But when I arrived, what did I see? Just a little old mug staring back at me. They said, come to Hutton, son, and get your big reward. An anaconda ship, you'll be the envy of the board. But as I landed gently, my dreams began to fade. For all I got was a mug and the memories we made. Oh, I flew to Hutton Orbital in my little ship so tight, through the void of space on that long dark night. But when I arrived, what did I see? Just a little old mug staring back at me. Now I ain't one for complaining about the way things go, but I sure thought I'd strike it rich at that Hutton show. So I'll raise my mug up high and I'll toast to the sky, for the mug will cry as the stars roll by. Oh, I flew to Hutton Orbital in my little ship so tight, through the void of space on that long dark night. But when I arrived, what did I see? Just a little old mug staring back at me. So here's to all you pilots, dreaming big and bold. Just remember, at Hutton, your fortune might not unfold. But take it in your stride and enjoy the ride, for the mug will shout with country pride. For the mug.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?